Hello, everyone. Welcome to Module 2 of our Funnel Builder certification program. In this module, we're not just going to talk about funnels, we're going to build one together. We're actually going to replicate a funnel step by step. And the cool thing about this part of the certification is that you will get a copy of this funnel, and we're also giving away the ebook that we're going to offer as a lead magnet for the funnel, which is going to be so useful once you start building your funnel pages. All right, so first things first, where do you start? Where to get inspiration for your landing pages, for your squeeze page? You might have an idea of what you want, but it really depends on how deep on your funnel building journey you're at. But even if you're a pro, you can still get inspiration from other landing pages in your niche. So if you do a quick YouTube search around the topic or industry you're in, you're going to find that most YouTubers have links to their freebies in their descriptions, so you can take inspiration from those. For this certification, we pre-built the funnel so you can see how everything's going to look first, and then you can take a look at the building process. Starting with the squeeze page, which is the one you're seeing on screen right now. This will be the entry point for our leads. And as you can see, we are giving away a 3-step quick guide for online newbies. It's a very simple landing page. The cover of our freebie is on the left, and then we have text on the right, and of course, the opt-in forms. So we're going to go to our dashboard and then go to funnels, create new funnel, and then we can click on build an audience and just name it from 0 to online hero funnel. Then remember, you have to choose the currency because we are going to sell something. So choose wisely here and then just click on save. So ignore all of these pages right here. I just started working on things beforehand, but we're just going to pretend that we have a build an audience funnel. So let's just add a new one just for visuals, and let's name it squeeze page. And then, of course, it's going to be a squeeze page, right? So let's save that. And then we're just going to select a template, but we're actually going to pretty much build it from scratch. So let's just go with this one. It kind of looks similar to our original landing page. So let's select it. And then we're going to edit the page, and that will take us to our funnel editor. As you can see, this is a pretty long squeeze page, and we're replicating a very short one. So what I'm going to do is I will just delete everything. So what I would do is go to each section and then delete. I'm going to do that with every section, and then I'll come back. Something to note before I delete everything is that you can delete things from 2 places. So if you just go over a section, you will see these buttons right here. This is where you can duplicate, save a block, or delete the section or row or whatever it is that you're deleting. But if you click on it, you will also be able to have those same buttons right here. So you can also delete them from here. So as you can see, I deleted everything, and now I just need to drag and drop the first element. So what I'm going to do is add 2 columns. If I do this, immediately I have a section. So you don't have to first go in with a section and then go in with the columns. If you add the 2 columns right away, you will still have a section because columns are rows inside a section. So this is my main layout. And then what I'm going to do is change the background, because if you remember from our original page, which I'll show right now, we have 2 columns, 1 picture here, text, and our opt-in forms. So it's basically 3 main elements: an image, text, and opt-in. And that's what we're going for. Something else to note is that this background color has to be the same, right? So I actually have the code for this color, so it's the exact same. Okay, so let's go back to the editor. And as I told you, the first thing that I'm going to do is change the background color for this section. So I just click on it and then go to background color, click here, and then I told you I had the code for the color. So I'm just going to paste it here. As you can see, I have the color right here. If I want to continue using this color, there's a useful tip that you can use, and that's added to your colors here. So you have it handy and you don't have to do this every single time. So what you're going to do is once you have the color, we have it right here, then you're going to click on one of these spaces, and then you have it right here, and it's not going to go anywhere. Now let's add the other element. So we have an image, which we're going to drag and drop right here. And then we're going to add text right here. I believe we have 3 text boxes. So the first one, the second one, and then the last one. And then after, we're going to change all of this. It's not going to stay like this, but I'm just adding the elements first. And then we're going to add our opt-in forms. So we go to the elements right here and then go to form input, add one for first name. Okay, but I don't want it to be like this. I want it to just be right below the text. So I'm going to delete it, and you have to be careful here. I'm just going to add it right below the text element. And see, now it's in line with the text. So I have the first one here and then another one for the email address, again, very close to the other one, so it won't cover the whole page. And have the two. And then the final element is a button so that people can actually opt in. And then we're going to add it right below this one. And there you go. These are the 4 main elements that I'll use to build our squeeze page. A very useful tip is to have your copy already written beforehand. You can have it in a Google Doc or Notion. So I'm just going to copy and paste it from the other page that's already done. But once I paste it, it's not going to format right away. So what I'm going to do is go to the element right here and then just look for the font. Then I'm just going to adjust the size of my text. I think the line height is a little bit too much, so I'll just go for 29 and then do the same for the other 2 text box. So let me just go copy and paste the text. This one goes here, and then this one goes here. Okay, so this is how things are looking right now. We're missing the image right here, so let's add it right away. We just click on the image and then just search for the image file. You can upload it as a new file here, but if you previously uploaded somewhere else, then it's going to be here in your images. So I have it right here. Let's just insert it, but I'm actually missing a very, very important step, and it's right here in our form input. So as you can see, there's a warning, input type not set. So I have to let the system know what information I'm gathering with this form input. So for the first one, I'm actually choosing the name, so first name. So I'm just going to click on it and then select a type right here. As you can see, we have a list. You can collect the city, the company name, country, delivery address, email, first name, everything. So for this one, we're just going to go for first name. And then the second one is going to be their email address. So the same thing, we just go for email. So things are looking pretty good. We're just missing the button right here. So if we go to the original page, you can see the button is wider. So it's the same size as the input forms, and it says download now. So let's just go back and change this. Okay, so the first thing that I'll do is just change the text right here. And so I'll just go and look for it here, button text, and I'm going to write download now. And I do not want a subtext, so I will just delete the placeholder. And now I just have to make it wider. So what I'm going to do is go to button width and then choose full width. And now it is the same size as the info forms. So let's just see how it looks, and let's see if it looks the same as the original one. We're going to save changes, very important. Please don't forget to save changes all the time. And then we're going to click on this little eye to see if design-wise it's looking the same. So it is looking very, very similar, but this part right here, the text, looks very like squished together. So I'm going to go back to the editor and change the settings right here. So what I'm going to do is go to the row and then check on these settings. The first thing is I don't want things to be super close to the top of the page. So I'm just going to play with the margin right here. So I'll just go for 50 and then see how it creates a margin right here. And then I'll go to the padding. So right here, we have 10, 20, 20, which I feel like it's fine. But what I really want to do is separate this text elements. So I'll just click on the second one and then I'll go to here to margin and maybe play with this. So you can see how they are separating from each other. And then let's go with a higher number here. So it looks narrower. Then we're just going to do the same thing with the other one. And then we, of course, have to do the same with the input forms. Okay, let's save the changes. I think for the image, it's a little big once I see it in the actual page. So I'm just going to put it down a little bit, like 350. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is go to the section and then scroll all the way down to size and position to content width. And instead of full page, I'm going to go with wide. So now let's see how things are looking. Things are looking pretty good. I like it because this way I can see the whole thing at once. I don't have to scroll down for anything. So this is looking perfect. We're just missing one thing, and that is our freebie. How are we going to deliver this? So let's go back to the editor one more time. And then once we're here, we're going to go to our button. We're going to see the settings for the button right here. And this is the most important part. So what you have to do is select an action that happens when the button is clicked. So in this case, we have submit form. And that is what we want in this case. This will capture people's information so we can later send them the ebook through email automation. And then it will redirect the person to the next step URL of the funnel. To set up the automation to deliver the freebie via email, just click on the big blue Add Automation Rule button and then click on Add Action. Now from the list, choose Send Email option. And then in the search bar, type to find the email that you'll be sending. In this case, we already created it, so we'll look for From Zero to Online Hero PDF. Then we'll select it and click Save. As a side note, to create a new automated email, this can only be done through the Automation tab in your funnel's dashboard. So when you get to the step of choosing the email, you'll find the plus icon at the top of the list. Click on it and then just create your new email. Before showing you where the next step URL will take your customers, let me just remind you that you have to check that everything looks good on the mobile version as well. So what you're going to do is when you're in your editor, you're going to click here, the mobile phone icon, and then make sure that everything is looking good. So for this example, I would make the photo a little bit smaller because right now it's taking up too much screen space, and I want customers to know what they're getting and be able to click on a button without having to scroll that much. So I would just click on the image like this and then just adjust it right here. Just making it a little bit smaller. But also, if you want a certain element to be visible only on the mobile version, you just go to the icon and then click on the element that you want to be exclusive for the mobile version or desktop version, and then just scroll down. And then you just have to check the boxes that you would like the element to be visible. So for this case, the image, this element is visible on both desktop and mobile. But if I uncheck the box, let's say I don't want the image to be shown in the desktop version, then I would uncheck it and you would know that it's a mobile only image or a mobile only element because you will see this red tag right here. But I want the image to be shown on both. Then just repeat the same steps. I want this text to be a little bit more separate from the image. So you could just add a little margin for the image right here at the bottom. See how that separates the text from the image? And then just do the same thing with the text boxes right here. So I'm going to show you what our next page looks like. This is a page that your visitors will be taken to. So we have a text here that says, you're about to receive your free guide by email in a few minutes. In the meantime, take a look at this. So this is a sales order bump. So it means that we're actually selling something in this thank you page / sales page. And this is actually a course. So it's a sales funnel starter kit and it's only $7. So once you read all of this, you're going to see the order form for you to get the $7 funnel starter kit. And then if you scroll down a little bit, we actually have an order form. So if you want the starter kit, you can also say yes to the launch kit for only $27.99. So as you can see, this is a very useful page. It not only tells your visitor that they're about to receive the free guide that they just downloaded by email in a few minutes, but it's also a sales page for this $7 course. And additionally, well, it has the order form and everything, but there's also an order bump right here for an additional $27, which will make your customers' order value much, much higher. So this is what we're going to learn how to build in our next lesson. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So in our last session, we created a squeeze page, and now we're creating a sales page. So with our squeeze page, we're not only building an audience and building our email list, but we're capturing attention, and hopefully we're also guiding this visitor who showed interest in our freebie to a potential purchase. And this is what the sales page is all about. This is where the magic happens. It's the stage where you can showcase your product, your service, and really convince your audience and guide them toward the add to cart button. And actually, the way we're going to do this is we're not only crafting a sales page, but we're also using the same page as an order form. As I mentioned before, a high converting funnel is not about the length of your sales page. It's about how valuable your offer is to your target audience. Just as a reminder, this is the sales page order form that we are going to be replicating today. It's not going to be lengthy. It's very simple, but you can definitely adjust it to your product, to your service, and really make it your own. So we're going to go to our funnel and then we're going to create a new page. So this is going to be our sales page, but remember, we're also going to use it as an order form. So what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and go to the sales page pages or sales page steps and then choose order form. Just save it. And then you're going to see our templates, which are great. And the cool thing about order forms is that you can add text and other elements. You can really make it a sales page all in one. And it's actually easier for your visitors to just complete their purchase right there. I'm just going to go with this one and then go into our editor. And the idea is for you to see as much building as possible. So you could totally just use a template and just replace it with your copy. But I want to show you things that you can do when you don't necessarily have a template. So I'm just going to delete the elements that I'm not using and replacing them with the ones that we are building from scratch. Remember, I have my copy somewhere else, so I'll just be copy and pasting the text. You should have your copy either in a Google Drive or Notion or anywhere so that your funnel building experience is faster. So the first thing I'll do is just replace my heading here, and then I'll just go ahead with the subtext, everything in the same section. And then the first thing I'll do design-wise is change the background color of my section. As you can see, I have my color saved right here, so it's very easy to find it. And then I'm just going to play with the text size. So as you can see, you can use a slider or you can set the font size manually with the number. Now, if you want to change the color of your font, then you don't have to go to the left section to do that. When you select the text element, you're going to see the buttons right above your text. So this one is for changing the color. You can do that from there, and you can also save your colors like I just did. Now I'm just deleting this part right here. I don't need it. So I'm going to use the buttons on the left section, and I just click on the garbage can, and then it's gone. Now I'm going to start adding more text elements. So I'll just go to my text element and then drag it in place. Now you're going to see that as I continue adding text and editing text in this sales page, the thing that will take the most time is figuring out how to space out each element. And the way you do this is by paying close attention to margins, padding, and line heights. Those are the three main tools that you get to achieve the perfect spacing between elements. Once you play around with margins and padding and line heights enough, it's going to be really, really simple to figure out how to space out elements. Make sure you use different colors for different types of text. If it's something that's really important, let's say the savings, in this case, say $42, make it another color so it stands out from the rest of your copy, but also make sure that everything looks cohesive and just easy to look at. If you're a pro funnel builder, then you're probably familiar with everything that I'm doing right now. But if you're new to funnels, then this is a really good starting point because you're going to see how easy it is to do things with our editor. For example, we're just adding another image exactly in the same way that we did in our squeeze page lesson. But with this image, as you can see, it has a white background and we don't have a white background for the section. So let's just change it to white. It's very simple. And then it has the look of a transparent background. Now that we have our image, let's just size it down a little bit. It's too big. We can use the slider right here as you're seeing on the screen. And we're pretty much done. We just have to add a couple of text elements. But now we're going to use a new one. We're going to use one that we haven't used before, and that is the bulleted list. So the way that we're going to use this one is by adding 3 columns and then dragging and dropping the bulleted list right in the middle. Now I'm just going to add my text. And as you can see, it looks okay, but it looks very squished together. And we don't want it like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand the other two columns. It just looks more symmetric. And then once we've expanded the other two columns, we can just play around with the font, the line height. And if you want the line height between each bullet to be bigger, you just have to add a line between each one or two lines, whatever look you're going for. And now that I have my bulleted list ready, I'm going to scroll down to a section that all of the elements have. And it's very important. I will come back to this later on. I will uncheck this box here where it says mobile. What this will do is make this element only visible on desktop, but we'll come back to this later. For now, let's explore other tools we have in our left section, which are shadows and borders. So these are all design tools that you have so you can better showcase what you feel is important in your sales page. Now we're just going to keep adding more text. And remember, you can highlight certain parts of your sentences by putting them in bold. And as the last section of our sales page part, I'm going to add a division between what we just did and the actual order form. So I'll just add another section. I'll change the background color to blue so it has a contrast with the white. And then I'll add two columns. I'll use these two columns to add an image and a text element. I will add my trust symbols and my guarantees, which I believe is really important to have before the client gets to the order form. Now I'm just going to adjust the size of my image and adjust it to the right so it looks like it's centered and together with my text. So everything's looking pretty good. We're almost done with this part, but as you can see, there's a couple of elements that display this text right here. It says desktop only, and that's because I set it up in a way that it only shows up like this on desktop, and there's a different version for mobile. You're gonna notice that some elements show up okay in the mobile version, but others don't. For example, we're not seeing the bulleted list here because I set it up only to show up in the desktop version. So what we're going to do in order for the bulleted list to show up on mobile is to duplicate it. But first you have to select where you want to see it. So as you can see, I just checked the two boxes for desktop and mobile. And when I check the mobile one, now I can see the bulleted list in the mobile view. And once I unselect it, it's no longer there. It's just only available for desktop. So what we're going to do is go ahead and duplicate the bulleted list. Now we have two exactly the same. But what we're going to do with the second one is to select this one to show up only for the mobile version. And that way we can edit it right from the mobile preview. That way we make sure that it looks okay for this version without having to alter or adjust the desktop view. And we're going to do the same thing with the order bump. Doesn't look as clean as the desktop version. So we're also going to edit it the same way. And that's pretty much it. Other elements like the image that we have right here, this is set up for both desktop and mobile and it shows up okay. So we're just going to leave it like that. But make sure that your mobile version is really optimized. Nowadays, most of your traffic, it's coming from a mobile browser and you want to make sure that all your leads are getting the same experience.